Hey everyone, Ken, Long Game Yoga. I'm wearing green. I don't know how I feel about wearing green this morning. We're gonna do a short flow that's gonna focus on the core. So the abs, some of the side stuff, some of the back stuff, just everything around here, our middle, which is one of those areas that we wanna continue to strengthen. That protective effect we get when all the muscles around here are long and strong and working together is important for, keeping away from some low back pain, some of that slumping, some of those bad habits that we can get into. So we're going to be using a strap and we're going to be using 2 blocks. Let's start down on our back. You can find any comfortable position and have a strap handy. We're going to use that shortly. Just come down onto your back. You can have your legs bent. You can have your legs straight. If there's any other opening, sort of reclined position you feel comfortable in, go ahead and use that. Once you come down, allow yourself to take a couple of longer, deeper breaths. In our yoga practice, the breath is a really nice lever that you can reach in and start to affect your autonomic nervous system. And when we're tense, when we're stressed out, our breath is short and shallow. And when we're relaxed and calm, the breath is nice and long. But here's the thing, if you lengthen the breath, you can actually start to calm the nervous system. And that's a nice way to start the practice. So let's take a nice deep inhale together. And then let it out on a long, slow exhale. Let's do that one more time. Let it out. And then a third time. Let it out. So from here, let's activate the legs. Let's start to push the feet down into the mat. So the back of the heels is pressing into the mat. The feet are flexed. We're keeping the feet nice and active. So push those big toe mounds forward. Peel the pinky toe side edge of your foot back. Get long from your heels through the crown of the head. And then we'll leave the left leg in place. Pull that right knee into your chest. And let's make some circles with the knee. It's just getting into that hip socket, warming it up a little bit. Maybe change directions. And roll out the ankle. Listen to anything that's popping or cracking. I don't know what it is. Those noises just keep getting louder. We're going to take the strap around the ball of the right foot, and we're going to extend the sole of the foot up to the ceiling. And then just take a moment here. Find out where you're going to be able to straighten your leg, right? If you need to have the leg a little bit lower down to the floor to get it to straighten, go ahead and do that. I'd rather have the leg straight than caring too much about how far back that foot is going. Don't let that left leg check out either. And here's a little bonus for this episode. Go ahead and take your strap and slide it back and forth, and then just for a second, go all the way down to the heel, and then come all the way back to the ball of the foot. A little foot massage, wake up the nerve endings, the nerves down to the sole of the foot. So you're feeling this nice stretch in the hamstring. Then we're going to walk the hands up the strap. We're going to start to get into the core. So I'm lifting my head and neck and chest up off of the floor, still holding the strap. Still keeping the quads contracted on the lifted leg. And you can stay right here, or go ahead and let go of the strap, reach for your toes. Feel that core engagement. If you bring your hand down there, you'll feel the abs are just like tight. And then you can let it go, move the strap out of the way, lower the head, neck, and shoulders to the mat. You can slowly lower that right leg down to meet the left. Once it gets down, you can just relax both legs for a second, see if you notice any difference. And then we'll come back to that active reclined mountain pose. Legs are working, even though they're just sitting on the ground. And then we're going to leave the right leg in place, pull that left knee into the chest, and take whatever movements you took on the other side. You can take those here. And again, we'll take that strap, bring it around the ball of the left foot, extend that foot up to the ceiling. If you want to take the bonus complimentary foot massage, you can do that now. And then we'll just settle in, waking up the hamstrings. And we don't need to go crazy. It's early in the flow. Keep the breath moving here. Allow the muscles in the back of the leg to just open up slowly, gently. And then keeping those quad muscles on the left leg engaged, let's go ahead, lift the head, neck, and chest off the mat. Let's walk the hands up the strap. Settle in for a moment here. And then you can stay here, or you can go ahead, let go of the strap. I'm still pushing my right heel into the mat. I'm pulling that left leg toward me. I'm reaching the fingertips up to the foot. Nice. And then you can go ahead, lower the head, neck, and shoulders. Slowly lower that left leg down. Try and keep it in control. Once it lands, we'll let the feet drop out to the side for a moment. Then go ahead, pull both knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Roll out that low back area. Maybe come up and down the length of the spine a couple times. And then from here, we're going to make our way up to seated. So let's come to a cross-legged seat here. Doesn't matter really what leg is on top. Just sit up nice and tall. Get your shoulders over the hips. And then we're going to take an inhale and we're going to lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, let's just keep our hands in front of us. Let's twist over to the right. Once you've twisted, go ahead, bring that left hand to the outside of that right knee. Bring your right hand behind you up on fingertips. And just twist in this direction. You can gaze out over the right shoulder. Try not to lean forward or back. Keep lengthening the spine. Keep deepening the twist as you exhale. And then we'll go ahead, just unwind. Maybe cross that center line a little with your torso. Now let's just switch the legs. So whatever leg was on top or in front is now going to be in the opposite position. We'll do the same thing here. So sit up nice and tall. Take an inhale to lengthen your spine, and on the exhale, we're twisting to the left this time. You can bring the hand, the right hand, to the outside of that left knee. Left hand comes behind you, up on fingertips. We're just taking this nice twist. Why are we taking this twist? We're taking this twist because we want to stretch the obliques a little bit, the side muscles. That's part of those muscle groups that we're targeting. Keep inhaling as you lengthen. Keep deepening the twist as you exhale. And then we'll go ahead and unwind. Again, pass a little bit past center, and then come back to center, and then we're going to just go from here to our tabletop. So let's come onto our hands and knees. We want to make sure that our wrist creases are roughly parallel to that short edge of the mat. You can even turn your fingers out a little bit if that's comfortable. We're stacking the shoulders over the wrists and the hips are over the knees. Tops of the feet are gently pressing into the mat. And then when you're ready, come into your cow. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart. Feel that stretch across your front body, across the abs. And then exhale, round through your cat. And then feel the back body, all those muscles along the back start to stretch. And let's just start alternating, inhaling through our cow, exhaling through our cat. And so here what we're really doing is we're alternating which muscles are contracting and stretching. So I'm stretching the front muscles here as those back muscles contract. And then the other way. Now my abs are contracting. Everything on the back, the traps, etc., is starting to stretch and lengthen. That's why one of the reasons this is such a good little mini vinyasa. It's good for the spine, and I think that's what we normally think about. But it's also working all those muscle groups, which is great. So we'll do one more round of cat. And then from here, let's come back to our tabletop. So we're not in cat or cow. Let's step that right foot back. Take a couple of pushes back and forth, getting into the back of that right leg. And then we're bringing the shoulders over the wrist. Go ahead, inhale that leg up. So get it about hip height. The toes are pointing straight down. Everything else is still in that tabletop. And then you can go ahead and reach the left arm up by the left ear, finding this spinal balance shape. And then we're going to take some crunches from here. So inhale to lengthen, and on the exhale, we're going to tap the left elbow to the right knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to tap. Inhale to lengthen. One more time. Exhale to tap. And then we'll inhale back to that spinal balance and then lower the left arm, right leg. Roll up the wrist on the right hand for a second. And so as we're doing those are just, those are crunches in a yoga shape. Now we're going to step the left foot back. Again, taking a couple of stretches here. Then we'll bring the shoulders over the wrists. Inhale that left leg up. Toes are pointing down. The leg is straight. Go ahead and reach that right arm up by the right ear. Get nice and long. Take an inhale. Exhale, round elbow to knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, round elbow to knee. Inhale to lengthen. We'll do it one more time. Exhale, round elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. And then the hand comes down. The leg comes down. Let's find a child's pose. So bring the sides of the big toes together. Separate the knees a little bit. Sink those hips down and back. Keep it an active child's pose. We'll keep the arms out in front of us. The elbows are lifted. Taking a round of breath. And then let's go ahead, tuck the toes, lift the hips, send the hips up and back. Coming to the first downward dog of our practice. So feel free to walk out the dog a little bit. Or if you want to bend both knees nice and deeply, pushing the torso up, 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 and then straighten into the legs. Finding this nice down dog. We'll take one more round of breath. See if you can get the arms nice and straight. Think about spinning those biceps forward. And then we're going to roll forward to our plank. Let's hold this plank for a moment. Feel the front body engaging here. So you need to do that, otherwise your hips are going to sink way down. Back muscles are helping too. Push through the heels. You can always drop your knees if this is too much. Or if it's just right, keep the knees lifted. And then we're going to lower all the way to the mat, nice and slowly, until we come all the way down. From here, let's bring our arms out in front of us. Let's find our Sphinx pose. So we want the elbows a little bit ahead of the shoulders. The forearms are parallel to one another. The elbows are shoulders width, maybe even in a little bit from there. Fingers are spread nice and wide. And then go ahead and engage the legs. So press the top of each foot into the mat. So think about that shoelace area, right? If you're wearing sneakers, that's what it would be. Kneecaps are lifting, the inner thighs are spinning to the ceiling. You're broadening across the collarbones here, pulling those shoulders back, pulling the shoulder blades toward one another. And then let's see if we can keep a little bit of height and then slide the hands back, coming into the traditional low cobra shape. Pin the elbows toward one another. Again, roll those shoulders back. Legs are still working. And then exhale the forehead down to the mat. Let's walk the toes in. We're going to push up through a plank. You're welcome to come up through a modified plank. On your exhale, the belly moves first as you push up. And then the hips come up and back. We find our down dog again. Take a nice stretch here in this down dog. And then let's look forward. We'll bring the feet to the hands. You can step, you can hop. Inhale brings us to a halfway lift. The back is nice and straight here. And let's pause for a second because we're strengthening the hamstrings, right? They're stretching and strengthening. But think about what's going on in the back. All these muscles in the back are holding the torso from you're coming down like a marionette that's just been loosened. We want to keep that back nice and flat, nice and straight. Roll those shoulders back. Feel that engagement. And then exhale, you can fold all the way over. Just let the head hang heavy here. You might even shake the head, yes or no, a couple times. Move it in some circles. And then we'll go ahead, hinge at the hip. Lift the torso. Bring the arms overhead, and then hands come down to heart center. Inhale the arms up. Exhale to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding back over, and then root down through your feet as you rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's flow into one sun salute here. So inhale the arms up. Exhale, swan dive to that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We're going to keep the lift. Plant the hands, step the left foot back, step the right foot back. So your choice, you can lower all the way to the mat, or you can catch yourself halfway down in chaturanga. If you're in chaturanga, the toes slide back, and we inhale our way to upward facing dog. Otherwise, you can stick with your low cobra. Pull that heart forward. Keep the core engaged. And then up and over the toes, we make our way back to our downward facing dog. Taking a round of breath. And another. We'll take a couple more. See if you can get the arms nice and straight now. See if you can get the legs straight also. So from the sit bones down to the heels, your nice long straight line. Doesn't matter if your heels are on the mat. We don't care about that. That's really a function of your natural flexibility. And a lot of that is just hereditary. So you've got what you've got. There's a certain amount you can manipulate. Before I did yoga, I could not touch my toes if I was bending over. Couldn't even get close. But then, you know, in those first half a year of doing yoga, I could get my hands all the way down to my toes. So there is a certain amount you can change, but then there are some built-in limitations, and it's okay. That's never a problem. From here, let's rock forward to plank again. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring the big toes together, and we're going to roll to the outside edge of the right foot, and we're going to lift the left arm up to the ceiling. So trying to keep our hips up so we're not sinking, keep them up. Again, we're getting into the sides, strengthening this side. The outer hips, the obliques that are on the left side here are helping to keep everything up. If this is too much, you could always step your left foot halfway up the mat, and you're getting a lot of the same benefits. I mean, it's not cheating. It's just what works for you this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, wherever you are. I always feel like I should announce what time it is, but it could be any time on YouTube. Let's unwind, bring the hand down, just push the hips up and back. Noticing what feels a little more open after that side plank on the right side. So let's go ahead and do one on the left side. So bring the big toes together, roll forward to plank. We're rolling to the outer edge of the left foot this time. And as far as your feet go, you could stagger your feet, so one in front of the other. Again, you could step the right foot halfway up the mat, or you could stack the feet. Keep breathing. Keep the hips lifted. My left hand is pushing the mat away. My right fingers are reaching for the ceiling. Keep breathing, and then we'll unwind. Push the hips up and back. This seems like a fairly fiery flow, so let's roll forward to plank. Let's take a vinyasa. Inhale through your back bend. Exhale, the hips up and back. From here, let's go ahead and drop our knees to the mat. We're going to set up for a thread the needle. So let's inhale the right arm up and overhead, and then thread it underneath the left arm. Come down on the outer right shoulder, right side of the head. If you want to step the left foot back, you could do that if you want to reach that left arm up. Maybe take a half bind, you can do that. So we're stretching the obliques again, countering a little bit of the effects of what we were doing. Keep the breath moving. And then we'll reach the left arm back up, bring it back where we can see it, come down, open up again to the right, and then bring that hand down. We'll take it to the other side. So when you're ready, inhale the left arm up, and then thread it underneath the right arm, come down on the outside of that left shoulder, left side of your head's there, on the mat. If you want to step the right foot back, maybe reach the right arm up, maybe take that half bind, you can do that. Concentrate on getting nice long breaths here. Sometimes when you're in a twist, it can feel a little tight in terms of breathing. Just slow the breath down, you can fill the lungs up. We'll take one more round of breath. Reach that right arm back up, then bring it back where you can see it. Swing that left arm back up, and then we're back in our tabletop. Let's take a round of cow and cat here. Neutralize the spine after that twist. And then from here, we're going to come down on our forearms. We're going to set up for a plank pose. So what you can do is just make sure, and you can just take a peek up here for a second. When we're weight bearing like this, we don't want the elbows to splay out too much because that puts the upper arm in a weird angle for the rotator cuff muscles, and we don't want to start getting in arguments with those guys. So what you want to do is make sure you can keep the elbows tucked in. If you find that challenging, here's what you can do. You could take a strap with the loop, open the loop so that it's shoulder head to shoulder head. So that's that pointy bit right at the front of the shoulder. And then you can put the strap just above your elbows like this. And then that makes sure your elbows are not going to splay out. So I'll use that this time. Tuck the bottom pinky under so you're not going to squish it. And then we're just going to step the left foot back followed by the right foot, finding this plank. Feel the core engagement here. I feel the back body working. Being able to keep all those muscles down there really well toned is nice insurance policy, right? I mean, it's not going to guarantee you're not going to hurt your back. You have to be smart about how you lift things and how you move. You also have to be lucky because sometimes even when you're smart, things are getting a little past their warranty. So who knows what's going to happen. But this is the kind of work that we can do that can make a difference, right? And the things that we can control, let's go ahead and do them. Let's keep everything working here. Keep pushing through the heels. Pull the inner thighs toward one another. We'll be here for another 3 rounds of breath. And then go ahead, lower the knees. You can sit back on your heels if you were using that strap. Let's get it out of the way. And then what I want you to do is grab your blocks. Let's put one on the flat height down at the end of your mat or where your feet are going to go, because it really depends on how tall you are. The other block is going to be on the flat height as well. It's going to go underneath the shoulder blades. So this is kind of the reverse of what we were just doing. We're going to be supporting our hips and our mid section, but instead of the back being up top, now the back is on the bottom, and so the muscle groups are going to work in a different way. So just position the blocks so that it feels like, again, under the shoulder blades and underneath the heels. And then once you have everything ready, let's take our hands, interlace them behind our head, and let the elbows just come out to the side. It's a position that might bring back some bad memories of being forced to do sit-ups when you were in junior high school. But this is all to the good, so we'll be happy to do it. When you're ready, push into your heels, lift the hips. So it's like we're lying on our back, except our middle is not lying on the back, and we're engaging all these muscles again to keep everything up. Keep breathing here. I don't know why I made that noise. It sounded like a sheep. Breathing. Don't let those hips sink. Imagine somebody walked over and stood on your belly, and you're just like a board, just keeping them up in the air. We'll take one more round of breath. And then we'll go ahead, let that go. Before you come off the blocks, if it's okay, you can just let your head fall back. If you've still got your fingers behind your head, That'll keep your neck from, getting weird. If you've got a sensitive neck, don't do this. But if it feels comfortable, this can actually be a really nice release. And then we'll come up. Let's move those blocks out of the way. And then we're going to come back down on our back. What I want you to do next is we're going to take our hands, our thumbs, and tuck them underneath our hip bones. So like nestled right up against the glutes. And then let's lift the legs up to the ceiling. Coming into, roughly a 90-degree shape here. This is going to work the core. This is going to work the core, if you know what I'm saying. So we'll take an inhale, and on the exhale, lower your legs about a third of the way. And my head and shoulders and back are still on the mat. Take an inhale, lower the legs another third of the way. Take an inhale, let the heels just hover. And then we'll inhale the legs back up to center. We'll do that again. So take an inhale, exhale, lower the legs down about a third of the way. Take an inhale, exhale another third. Inhale the final third. And we like to do things in threes. So when you're ready, we'll lift the legs back up. Inhale, exhale that first third. Inhale, exhale that second third. Inhale, exhale that final third. Hover, hover, hover. And then we'll lift the legs back up. And then you can pull both knees into the chest. We'll roll along the spine, come to some circles again. And then from here, let's roll up and over the feet. We're just going to make our way down onto our belly. So we work the front side of the body. Again, let's work the back. Let's bring our hands down by our hips. Palms on the mat, knuckles are facing up to the ceiling. We're going to set up for some back bends here. So when you're ready, inhale, lift the head, neck, and chest up off the mat as you activate the legs and lift the kneecaps. So maybe come up onto tented fingers and roll the shoulders back a little. You can stay here, or you can float the arms up. And then you can stay here, or you can add the legs. So now there's nothing helping the back here except the muscles of the back itself. The core muscles on the front are stretching. Back muscles are contracting. And then you go ahead, let that go. Maybe make a little stack with your hands. You can just rest your forehead on that stack for a second. Again, because we do these things in threes, we're going to do this 2 more times. So this time, let's bring the hands back down to the hips. This time, let's try and lift the legs first. So keep the hands where they are. Keep the chest on the mat. And on your inhale, go ahead, float the feet up. So you're reaching the big toes so far back, the legs just start to lift. And then you can stay here or inhale the head, neck, and chest away, lifting the fingers up. Palms can face one another. If you'd like to interlace or grab a strap, you can go ahead and do that too. Rolling those shoulders back, keeping everything engaged. And then we'll let it go. Again, making that stack with your hands. Maybe the opposite hand is on top this time. Resting the forehead, letting that effort go for a second. And we're going to do it one last time, and then we'll start to take it down, okay? So hands down by the low ribs, palms on the mat, knuckles are pointing up at the ceiling. Let's see if we can lift everything at the same time here. So let the air out. And on your inhale, everything floats up. Again, the hands can be in this sort of skydiver position, an airplane position. You can interlace, maybe put the opposite thumb on top if you're interlacing. Keep pulling the belly button up to the spine. Now the stomach is staying on the mat, but you want to feel that engagement. One more round of breath. And then we let it go again. This time, go ahead and bend the knees. You can let the feet drop out to one side and then the other, getting into this kind of windshield wiper action that if you did feel anything get tight in the low back, this should Release that. And then from here, we'll bring the legs back. Bring the hands by the low ribs. We're just going to push up to a tabletop. And then we're going to cross the legs. We're going to come down onto our back. Let's have the blocks handy nearby. Let's bend the legs, plant the feet. And I just want to set us up for a supported bridge here. So go ahead and just lift the hips a little bit and slide a block underneath the sacrum. That's that low part of the back between the low back and your glutes. And you can stay right here with the feet planted, or it could feel nice to lift those legs up to the ceiling. If you need to adjust the block like I just did, you can go ahead and do that. Maybe bring the arms into a cactus shape here. So with the block underneath, this shouldn't feel like too much core work going on. It should feel like kind of a restful pose, especially if you get your feet right over the hips. Find that center line so that it's pretty effortless. Since you're looking at them, maybe flex the feet, point the feet. And then we'll go ahead and lower the feet to the mat. Lift the hips, slide that block back out. For a second, you can walk your feet to the outer edges of the mat. Let the knees knock together, dishing out that low back area. And from here, we're going to finish with a spinal twist. So go ahead, reposition your feet. We're going to cross the right leg over the left leg, and then we're going to slide the hips over to the right. Let the knees drop down to the left. You can let them land on a block. You can let them float. If crossing the legs doesn't feel comfortable, feel free to just uncross. You could stack the knees. That's a nice twist as well. You should feel, if you're in the twist, this nice stretch across the low back. Again, getting into the obliques on the side. The core should feel pretty released here. Just allow all the tension to just drain out of your muscles. Let everything soften. And then we'll bring the knees back up through center, uncross, recenter those hips on the mat. Take it to the other side. So we're crossing the left leg over the right. We're scooting those hips off to the left, dropping the knees to the right. Maybe the left arm reaches out to the side. Again, we're looking for a sense of relaxation and softening here. You can even start to let the mind relax. You don't really have to pay attention to any cues or any alignment anymore. And then we'll go ahead, draw those legs up through the middle, uncross. Just pull everything back into a tight little ball again. Make some circles. And then we'll find Shavasana. So it might feel nice just to let the legs extend out, let the feet just drop out to the side. Hands can be palms up to the ceiling. Just get nice and long and give yourself a couple of minutes to rest here. As I always say, you can just let the video play out and stay where you are to make the most out of your time in Shavasana, which is important. We did a lot of work. We also want to allow the body to relax and absorb all the work that we did by being still for a few minutes and letting the muscles relax. So you can go ahead and do that for as long as you'd like. So this flow, as I mentioned at the start, was really about me wearing a green shirt and being unshirt. No, I'm kidding. It's really about being able to get into all sides of this lower part of the body, the trunk. It's so important because it's holding everything up above it. Everything, the top of our body, our head, all this stuff is heavy. And so we want the abs to be strong and the obliques to be strong and the muscles on the back to be strong, so that it all works in concert to keep us upright, stable, steady, pliant, flexible, all the things that let us move well through the world. So being able to just really pay close attention to that part of the body in a short, targeted flow like this can be really valuable. So I hope that worked for you. If you did enjoy it, go ahead and just hit the like button below. That's going to let other people find the channel. If you don't want to miss any flows, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit that little bell thing so that you won't miss any flows. Thanks for flowing with me. Hope to see you on the mat again.